Have you ever been on the bad side of criticism? It's not a good place to be, is it? It's a lot of critical situations and critical folks in the world around us. And it's all in how we deal with criticism that makes for a somewhat easy time to get through it. James chapter 4, verse 11, James says, "Do not speak against one another, brethren." Now we're all familiar with the old expression, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." It's surprising to me that that expression has stuck around as long as it has, especially because it's so ridiculously incorrect. To say that words do not hurt is a blatant lie. Words can crucify a person. Criticism is characteristic of a very negative person. It paints a person as someone who is against other people, against the law, and against God. In a day when it's popular to be positive, it's peculiar that criticism is so prevalent. To criticize is first to be against people. Now the word James uses in the Greek, it literally means to talk against or to talk down to someone. It's to run someone down. It's to defame. It's to slander. It's to speak disparagingly. It's to backbite. Criticism is among the vilest sins because rather than ministering to people, it mutilates them. You never know the damage a comment can make. You never know whom it will hurt. In many ways, we're blind to the harm we cause. To be guilty of this sin is to be guilty of violating the royal law in James chapter 2, verse 8, which says, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." Now, to violate the law is to say that you don't think the law is right. It's to say, I don't agree with God and what He set out for people to follow. Therefore, I'll do it my own way. That's precisely what we say when we violate any law, religious or civil. Those who drive 58 miles per hour rather than the posted 55 miles per hour are saying, I don't want to get a ticket, so I won't go 60. I think going 55 is silly and doesn't do any good, so I'll drive at whatever speed I wish. That's what people think. And they might even take it a little further and say, besides, my time's more important than saving lives. Because that's basically what they're saying. It's been suggested that a way to avoid breaking God's law is to do the following. Say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. James has a better suggestion. He says, love thy neighbor as thyself. And it was actually Jesus that made that quote. The most serious offense to criticism is that it's against God. That is to say, the conduct involves usurping a prerogative that belongs to God alone. He may delegate various functions and responsibilities to human representatives, but He permits no human to share His judgment seat or to cancel His laws. God has the exclusive right to judge because He alone is lawgiver, and He alone is able to save and to destroy. In other words, God is the Lord of life and death. To speak evil of our neighbor, to criticize, to slander, or to insult is to pass judgment on what belongs to God. Our criticism is unwarranted, it's unfounded, and it's unneeded. Basically, it's unimportant. There's a story I read recently. Kind of snickered at it, actually. It's of two taxidermists who stopped before a window in which an owl was displayed. And right away, they began to criticize the way it was mounted. Its eyes were not natural. Its wings were not proportioned with its head. Its feathers were not neatly arranged. Its feet could have certainly been improved upon. And when they finished with their critique and were about to leave, the owl turned its head and winked. Only God can determine which of His people are truly good and which are truly bad. To God alone belongs the right to judge. People are slow to realize that there are few sins the Bible so unsparingly condemns as the sin of irresponsible and malicious gossip. Yet there are few activities in which the average person finds more delight than spicy gossip. To tell and to listen to a slanderous story, especially if it's about someone respected or distinguished. It is for all people a fascinating activity, which is against people, against God's law, and against God. Therefore, what James is asking in verse 12 is, who are you to judge? Who do you think you are? Who are you to presume to be God? To criticize is to crucify. Be careful of your words spoken to or about someone else. Try to be kind in your speech in all ways and in all areas. And yes, I'm aware sometimes it's difficult, but try to be as gentle as you can with criticism and with critical people. Whatever you need, bring it to the altar tonight. Ms. Janet?
Take your